What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down what's moving it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoundHound's down 2.83%, 1152 the low, 1202 the high. So quite the volatile day. 18.1 million shares being traded, 29.9 is the average. So kind of low volume. When it comes down to macro data, we just had initial jobless claims come out early this morning, came in at 236. So not necessarily the best, especially considering the forecast was 205. And unfortunately, the market wants negative, but not this negative. So this is why we did see a little bit of a push lower first thing. But at the same time, we did also have Oracle earnings from yesterday evening. So during the after hours, and there was a lot of kind of red flags. So that's kind of caused some ripples across the AI and tech sectors. But nonetheless, you're starting to see the market kind of recover. One thing that just came out as well was this right here. So the Trump administration plans to boost tax breaks for corporations. So that's a huge thing. That's one thing that just came out roughly around half an hour ago. So the market's kind of moving up because of that. Aside from that, though, there hasn't been news from SoundHound today. They did put out news yesterday. Unfortunately, I didn't do a video on it yesterday, but SoundHound does have a new partnership with OpenTable, and SoundHound's most recent fireside chat, I believe it was the Deutsch fireside chat. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but regardless, whatever their last fireside chat was, they kind of alluded to this partnership. They said that we're going to be working on this, how someone in driving and they want to book a reservation, they can easily do that through our system. And so yeah, this is clearly they already had that worked out. Maybe they just had to kind of fine tune some of their agreements, but I think generally this is a very good thing. As far as how this will work, so it says here that it will connect users to its network of over 60,000 restaurants. It'd be good to see exactly for orientation purposes where that primarily is. I popped over to OpenTable's website, and I would assume that is primarily American, but it doesn't actually list the 60,000. So I feel like that's that gray point in my opinion. The only other thing that kind of came out was this. It was posted, I believe, earlier today, just saying 𝗖𝗎𝗓𝗡𝗖𝗧 7.3 is here. And so yeah, I'm not going to waste your time and play this 48-second thing, but this is on point. This is exactly why we are investing in SoundHound, because of this innovative technology. So yeah, I think SoundHound's been playing it fairly safe. Hopefully we do get a lot more of these types of partnerships down the line, really to build on their existing platform. Regrettably, the market's been somewhat all over the place. So we did get a 25 basis point cut yesterday as well. Powell seems a little bit more optimistic based on just the current data, labor data. Does seem to worry about kind of the housing market, but for the most part, I think the market really wants a January cut. So we'll be really looking at some more, hopefully negative data, slightly negative, to justify that rate cut. Looking at shorts, they are returning 54,000 shares. 30.17% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 114 million shares overall being shorted. DTC has really shot up, so that's 2.53 days. So that does factor in the average volume for SoundHound in comparison to number of shares being shorted. So even though this has been going up, it's kind of a false read, only because the average volume for SoundHound has actually been going down. So just based on a formula standpoint, I think just that's why it's been going higher, is because the average volume has been going down, not because shorts been doubling or tripling down or anything. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how things are. Shorts, honestly, since pretty much beginning of October, they haven't done anything of crazy substance. So it's been flirting between that 29.5 and like 31% range between that. So hopefully we do get some more optimism in the broader market to really just push things higher. Aside from that, looking at the options, 2.5 million in calls, 955,000 in puts. 45% of all the options being done are bearish in nature. Most of that was done in the first half of the trading day. So again, there was a hell of a lot of fear at that time before SoundHound and much of the market started to recover. So I feel like as well, that's kind of a false read. But from a bull standpoint, you see a consensus for it to be roughly around that $12.50 to $13 range. Bears are anticipating for it to be sub kind of 1150. So given that, there definitely is a lot more upside than down. These are some of the transactions occurring on the secondary market above $100,000. So this one kind of is evenly divided. So you do see a lot of buys. Anything with a ask is a buy. Anything with a bid is a sell. And then these are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool. So it does go to show that hedge funds are fairly active today. Anything with pretty much a hold number, that's usually a good sign that it's linked to hedge funds. So the 60,000, 65,000, 65, 30, 30, so forth and so forth. So definitely good to see. Aside from that, with it right now at, that is open door, so you guys don't need that right over here. So SoundHound with it at 1186, giving you a quick overview at the 1-day chart. It is trading between this pivot and this S1. So 1055 and 1342 is going to be the next strong support and target. Looking at the 4-hour, more oriented towards kind of day trades and swing trades, it is between this pivot and this S1. So 1146 is going to be a strong support. That wasn't really tested, kind of had bounced off of that general area. And then 1223 was and is that next strong target / resistance. Only thing I did with SoundHound recently was yesterday I did sell some 1150 puts, and I always say this, I recommend it to a lot of individuals, even as outside of SoundHound. Any stock that you don't mind actually buying in general, look at selling a put, because you can get a good premium, plus you can actually buy it at the price you want. So for instance, tomorrow if SoundHound closes at sub 1150, then I get to buy it, and plus I get to keep my premium. It's a win-win. If it kind of stays around this price range or kind of moves higher, I get to keep the premium. Again, in my opinion, that's kind of a win-win. So you guys do your own due diligence and all the other fun jazz. But aside from that though, on the actual chart, still not doing too great. Still flirting with pretty much that 10 and also that 200-day moving average. Most likely we will be seeing a pinch by tomorrow. So either a nice aggressive push higher or really just rejection of this resistance point. So this is again something that SoundHound's been really playing with for the last little bit, is that 10 and also 200-day moving average. Hopefully tomorrow we do have some good data to really push it higher. Only thing really coming out tomorrow is a lot of Fed speakers. So again, there's a lot of hot topics that they could really bring up to hopefully incentivize the market to really go higher. But even looking at the market position right over here, you see a lot more willing buyers. So definitely something good based on all that. And all SoundHound needs is a nice gentle push, and then it can easily get to roughly around that, I would say, kind of high 12s. Possibly even a little bit higher than that as well, to maybe even that $14 range. But again, all it needs is that nice gentle push, a good catalyst. So let me know your general thoughts on SoundHound. What's your overall viewpoint? Have you been buying? Have you been selling? There really hasn't been that much in real articles coming out associated to kind of SoundHound. A lot of clickbait type of stuff from especially Yahoo saying where will the stock be in 5 years and blah blah blah. I don't really see a lot of those being valid. It's just AI driven articles. There really hasn't been that much in even analysts. So I think right now the market's just waiting for SoundHound to prove itself, that it can actually achieve solid double-digit growth on a lot of their key metrics and everything like that. So let me know your general thoughts on SoundHound and what you've been doing. One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid on-point buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. So I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. So pop over, check that out. Definitely worthwhile. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.